Happy Monday, ladies and gentlemen. I know how thrilled you are. Monday is to sports bettors what Friday is to like binge drinkers. It doesn't get any better for sports bettors. Why? Because they went to sleep on Sunday night, and no matter what they did, no matter what idiotic parlays they put in throughout the course of the entire previous week, when they wake up, their account isn't in the red anymore. It's a brand new week. Oh, I don't live in the rear view. Life is about going forward and not thinking about the past. And that's why sports bettors love Monday, because they convince themselves, just like people who diet, the diet starts on Monday and the winning week starts on a Monday. And I guess we're going to try for, what are we up to now? 12, 13? I do try to go down into the comments to show my appreciation to some of you guys, because I ask for you guys to, support these videos and like them, comment on them. And I want to show my thanks by responding to some interesting comments, or people say, man, I catch one of you guys was like, I just listen to you before I go to sleep when you don't do videos on the weekend. Now, I'm not saying that's a good thing. I wouldn't even want to hear myself before going to sleep. There are go to sleep podcasts, and then there's I need to wake up podcasts. I think these wake you up rather than put you to sleep. Hopefully. But the problem is when I veer down into Mordor, which many times is online comment sections, doesn't matter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. It's a congregation and an aggregation of gargoyles. So while I do want to go down there and say, oh, thank you, you know what I'm going to see? I'm going to see the most idiotic individuals. And I wish my brain wasn't the one that was like, yeah, I'm going to have to tear this guy a new asshole. It is. I wish I can just go walk by. Oh, yeah, he says that. But look at this absolute donkey. He can win $1 or $2 when it's a football score out there. I mean, other than that, he's the worst guy ever. Does 3-2 look like a football score? Does it? Well, here's what you would have enjoyed on the Patreon, but we know you'll never be there because you don't have 2 cents to your name, and of course, you've never had your car. But me, and along with all those Sniff Juniors on there, we're able to cash a little plus 800, 2 points for DeBrincat, 2 points for Kane in his return, and it really feels good when it happens in overtime, because when Kane looked at the crowd, it's showtime, baby!
Oh my God!
I was looking at you. Actually, I would never do such a thing because I would never want to know what you actually look like. Always remember that, sir. You know what I look like. I will never know what you look like. And with that, we will go to some of my favorite Monday sniffs. There are a couple different games I want to talk about. 2 teams who couldn't be heading in more opposite directions. And the first team who's heading down south, literally, because the game is in Dallas, and figuratively, their style of play, the way they've been playing, the way they've been losing, how flat they've been, my New York Islanders. I just want to lead off by saying, if this was not Dallas's first game home after a lengthy road trip, I would be hammering them, especially at this price. But that doesn't mean, because I'm not going to do it, I've seen so many of these teams play poorly in their first game back. Really, seriously, it happens almost like every single time. It's just not worth it. Especially a team with all those veterans, right? All those guys in their 30s, the Bens, the Sagans, and the Pavelskis. They do have those family duties and whatnot. However, the Islanders are doing some line juggling, and these combinations, I have to take some unders on specific Islander player point props. Much to my chagrin, I saw Pajot and Pierre Engvall removed from the player pool, which is never kind to see, but they did leave me 2. My favorite of the bunch is Anders Lee, because he's not on the top line, who can maybe salvage him a point. He hasn't even been getting points playing on that top line. But more importantly, he's not on the top power play as well. So Anders Lee, under for a point in that game. So I'm going to take the under on Anders Lee, and I also am going to take the under on Kyle Palmieri. because he's going to be on this new makeshift awful second line. But the problem with Palmieri is he is on the top power play, which has actually been pretty good this year. Pretty certain it's like top 8 in the NHL. So if he happens to get some lucky point on the power play, it could cripple that. I would love to find some other guys, but they're stacking Horvat, Nelson, and Barzal all on that same line. But what I'm going to do is take the under on those two player props from the New York Islanders. And my God, do I wish I can bet on Dallas. I will say this. If you do think that Dallas is going to throw an absolute stinker because it's their first game home, the only way that Dallas is going to lose is if that stacked top line of the Islanders does something. So if you want to have some, I swear to you, you can bet both of these and win. But the under on those two player points for Anders Lee and Kyle Palmieri, but the stacked Nelson, Horvat, Barzal line, even in a loss, maybe think of some combination between the three of them, like a Nelson assist with a Horvat point. And trust me, the Islanders couldn't be playing worse. That would just be in the event that Dallas comes home, lays the egg, and the Islanders somehow get some lucky goals or something like that. It always happens that way. The Islanders playing absolutely dreadful, and then when everybody puts their full stack of chips on Dallas, who's like literally one of the best teams in the NHL, can win a Stanley Cup, they hammer Dallas, and Dallas comes home and lays an egg. I'm going to stay off the bait. You know what? Are good. Go ahead, win. Just keep those two guys off the board, and that's what I want, and I'll circle back to Dallas after this game. But I really am trying to make a habit, and you should too, of not betting on a team at home in their first game after a long road trip. So that's what I like in that game. Now, a team who's heading in the polar opposite direction are the Ottawa Senators. I told you weeks ahead of time, they're going to do this push. It's going to get everybody excited. I got news for you. I'm even kind of excited, but the reason I'm excited is because I like to see talented hockey. Now, I know you guys think that I'm a curmudgeon and I think everybody who doesn't play full defense is great. Still, I appreciate great hockey when it's played, and I want to see good teams in the playoffs. And it's a damn travesty we're not going to be able to see this Ottawa team because they're on a hell of a run. It's just too much to overcome. You can't even slip up at all. You have to keep winning game. Like they have to win the next 6 in a row or something like that to truly get themselves back into it. But it doesn't mean they're not going to continue to plow forward. What I'm going to focus on is the same thing I focused on over the weekend. That is a certain man named Josh Norris. He scored, I believe, 2 goals 2 games ago. I mean, he was like the first star of the game. He played incredible, and he was rewarded with a little more time in the following game. And these are some relatively new rejiggered lines from a few games ago. I think they've stuck the last few. And him and Batherson have got a nice little thing going on. And the thing you got to love about Josh Norris, he's on the top power play. So you're talking about a guy who's hot and on the top power play, and his point price is at even, or maybe we could find it in the plus if you find it at the right site. But I'm going to take the over on a point for Josh Norris. In addition to that, because that's already an even money bet, I'm going to do him and Batherson. You know how I guys told you, all right, if you have $10, you put 8 on this, 2 on this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put $7 on Norris. I'm going to put 2 on Norris and Batherson. And then I'm going to put 1 on Batherson assist with Norris point. That's what I do when I have picks. Like, for example, more stuff from the Patreon. Yesterday, I gave Crosby over 1.5 points and Brandon Rust point as well. Also, what I did, like that, yes, I like that the most. But if I'm going to put $10 on that, I'm also going to do a Rust assist with the Crosby over 1.5, a Raquel assist with the Crosby over 1.5. It's all these little thin boar's head deli slices of the same bet. So take your pool of what you wanted to bet on that. I'm not saying put extra money in, divvy it up to maximize the sniff. Because if Crosby's going to go over 1.5 points, his line mates have to have something unless it's 2 power play goals, and they're both on the top power play, where the other 2 guys, Eller and Carlson, both get the assists on both of them. So if you're right about Crosby, you're going to be right about the other guys, and you might as well get the best price on that combo between them all. But hopefully you guys are learning this along the way. And as far as the Senators go, I'm really tempted to take them. I'm going to build a little plus money, both teams to score 2+. We'll hold that pick from this game, and then we'll combine it with the game that's probably on a lot of people's minds. This one looks like it's going to be somewhat of a pivotal matchup. So since the All-Star break, what's happened? Kings have turned it around. They've got themselves back up right to where Edmonton is in the standings, and now they play each other in Edmonton. This is a marquee matchup, and look at this. Edmonton on their own home ice. They lose to the Wild. Then they get crushed by their rival. Hey, when it was working for Edmonton, you could bet on them every game and feel good. But you know what? If you got to relearn lessons a million times, you're kind of just a donkey. I'm not betting on Edmonton. But I will say both teams to score 2+ in the previous game, the Washington-Ottawa game, and this game gives you a plus money bet. Do not mind that whatsoever, although somebody will complain. There's something apparently not to like about that as well. But then again, pricks will always find something to ruin their day. They could, they're the kind of guy who goes on The Price is Right. Like, they find out somebody they knew went on The Price is Right, and that person won a boat. Like, John, did you hear that Dan won a boat on The Price is Right? And then you know what this guy does, the YouTube commenter that I was talking about before? He goes, yeah, but they got to pay taxes on it. He's the guy who brings up the taxes you have to pay after winning on The Price is Right. So rather than focusing on, oh my God, I went to LA, they picked me out of the whole audience. I went down there on the stairs. Oh my God, I bid the right amount, won a boat. And the first thing you have to talk about is the taxes on it. That's who they are. Say hello to them down there. They're not happy that you won a boat. They're just going to remind you got to pay taxes on it. Anyway, both teams to score 2+ parlay will give you plus money. You want me to force a pick out of me? Well, then I guess I'm going to have to go to the next game. I'll talk quickly about the Bruins and the Kraken. The Kraken beat the Bruins in Boston under 2 weeks ago. I'm going to take Boston to repay the favor. It's like minus 140 or something like that. You want me to knock it down? What do? I don't know. We can do a whole bunch of things. You can add Zaka, who is always a good bet for a point, but because you can always be dealing with low-scoring games with these Kraken, I will go with the under 7.5. So give me the Bruins and under 7.5 against the Seattle Kraken. And that is what I have for you here on a Monday. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. I really mean it, though. Thank you for helping me grow this YouTube channel. I know you guys think I don't know the overwhelming majority of you people are regular. How do we define regular? I don't know. That's a subjective term. My regular is a whole hell of a lot different than your regular. I'll tell you that right now. But if you can continue to do that, you guys know how it goes. If you guys continue to do that stuff, I will continue to drop the videos in the middle of the night. There's no question. You guys do a good job, then I do it, and it's as simple as that. So if we get to 8,250 views and 150 comments, this one's dropped in the middle of the night. You'll be getting your sniffs. And then, and always remember, you can join the Patreon, help support the show here. There's a ton of people in there now. I had to create a hockey-only room because in the Ruckus chat, it is just that now. I mean, they're betting cricket, they're betting women's tennis. I bet you there's going to be WNBA bets before you know it. So if you join there, you can get all that stuff. And obviously the additional parlays that I put out there, and then the updated picks based on some lineup changes and stuff like that. Like, I know about this Islander thing because of the practice report on Sunday. You never know what happens on Monday during the day, so I will always update it with the most recent information on the Patreon. Hopefully I see you guys there. If not, I will see you tomorrow. Take it easy. Good luck, and I'll talk to you then.